because it looked like an open and shut, like, professional case. And the reason why I say that is because he was so cool throughout this entire process. I don't mean cool like, oh my God, he's like swagged out. That's a totally separate conversation. I mean, like, he was cool as a cucumber. Like, he was very calm throughout this process. He was very thorough. Now, people were saying that maybe it was because he wanted to get the casings after every shot, like collected, you know, professional hitman style, Sicario style. Turns out he wanted to leave the casings there, as a matter of fact, because he wrote stuff on the casings. He wrote stuff on the shells, which is wild. And when I first saw the story and I saw the media coverage over it, I thought it was very funny that people were like, this healthcare CEO got executed in broad daylight in the middle of New York City and the motive is unknown. And I was like, yeah, no, I think the motive is known. Like, it's one of those guys where I don't think this was a gay lovers quarrel, you know? I don't think this was like, oh, his ex-wife called out a hit on him. Like, it's like, that would be a unique setting. You know what I mean? It's like, it's one of those situations where it's like, if you heard Vladimir Putin got assassinated, you wouldn't be like, I wonder what the motive is here. You know what I mean? Like, there's many motives in that situation, but like I doubt someone is doing that over the anger that they feel towards some kind of new tax that Vladimir Putin implemented.
This video shooting and killing Brian Thompson, the CEO of United Healthcare. Police said it was no.
What's crazy is motherfucker was wearing a quarter zip in this profile picture. Like, at this point, it's such a meme. Like, these guys, they love their quarter zips, dude. I'm sorry. Like, what are we doing, dude? Why? You took a headshot, no pun intended, and you were repping the quarter zip in the headshot. You know, what are we doing here? What's going on? Y'all don't got nothing else? You just got quarter zips?
Every indication is that this was a premeditated, pre-planned, targeted attack.
The gun appears to have a silencer and jammed. When the shooter cleared it, police say he fired again.
From watching the video, it does seem that he's proficient in the use of firearms, as he was able to clear the malfunctions pretty quickly.
So that's a really interesting predicament, because on the one hand, I don't know enough about guns, at least like suppressors and subsonic rounds, but like, I feel like if he was like a massive pro, I suspect that like some things that he did made me think that he is professional, but some things that he did made me not feel like he's professional. I feel like when he has a suppressor on, shouldn't you be testing that at some point to make sure that you know it doesn't jam? Am I wrong about this? Gun perverts, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel as though, like, is it that inconsistent that even if you have a pistol, even if you have a suppressor, even if you test it out ahead of time, it still has the capacity to jam? So like, that kind of made me feel like maybe this is not a pro, but also the fact that he cleared it and walked slowly and continued, you know, eyes on the prize, that made me think he is a pro. The gun isn't jamming. Subsonic rounds don't have enough power to move the slide all the way. Yeah, that's what I assume. But the fact he was proficient in clearing the jam means he was expecting it to jam. Yeah, I mean, I feel like, you know, putting myself in his shoes in a situation, not when I'm like, you know, executing the fucking CEO of a healthcare company that is responsible for denied coverage to tens of thousands of Americans. I'm just saying, like, in a situation where like I'm shooting a gun at all at a range and it jams, I don't have the technical proficiency to deal with it. I'm going to freak the out. The fact that he was able to clear it while continuing to walk made me feel like he knew what he was doing. Interesting stuff. So yeah, United Healthcare CEO is shot. A real doop, doop, doop situation. Okay. The guy just walks away. That is obviously an interesting story in and of itself, but I think one of the more interesting aspects of the story isn't even necessarily like the casings that he left on scene that said the words deny, defend, and depose, according to ABC News, which, by the way, is very similar to title of the book, Delay, Deny, Defend, Why Insurance Companies Don't Pay Claims and What You Can Do About It, by J.M. Feynman. Shooter of United Healthcare Chief Executive Brian Thompson wrote Deny, Defend, Depose on the shell casings. The words echo the name of a book about how insurers won't pay claims. It's an earthquake for corporate America.
Police say it was around 6:45 a.m. Wednesday when the suspect, pictured at a Starbucks before the shooting, gunned down Thompson as he was walking alone into the Hilton for an investors conference. And in new video overnight, the shooter seen here about 20 minutes before the shooting.
They're looking for a male about 5 feet 10 inches in height.
Yo, by the way, you know, don't get mad at me. I don't want to be like inappropriate here, but he looks kind of hot, dude. I cannot be the only person who immediately went, wow, clearly this guy has interesting style and also is kind of attractive, which is part of the reason why I thought if they catch him and he gets his message out and he's hot, it's going to be a far more consequential problem. They should let him go. Honestly, I'm not even joking when I say this. They should let him go, because if they catch him and they arrest him and then he gets to talk and says, this is why I did it, it's gonna be a Shinzo Abe situation. It already has become a Shinzo Abe situation. And that's actually the truly interesting part about this story. Now, America, we have gun violence all day, every day. And usually the gun violence that occurs is some random guy who loses their minds for one reason or another, ends up killing some of the most marginalized people in society. It's either a white supremacist teenager who wants to kill like black and brown people. You go to El Paso, to Walmart in El Paso, shoots like as many brown people as possible, goes to a black neighborhood deliberately in Buffalo, shoots as many black people as possible. Is either stuff like that, or again, someone who's like very clearly mentally ill that goes and like kills classmates, right? That's the norm. It's not the norm. And I said this when Donald Trump was shot. It's not the norm when you got a shooter who's like, you know, I'm actually going to do something consequential. I'm actually going to effectively identify where the vectors of my demise are, and I'm going to target them. That's not normal. And that's precisely the reason why when it's business as usual mass shootings, everybody goes, ugh, thoughts, prayers, whatever, right? But when this happens, they're like, whoa, 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 you can't do that. That's a rich guy. That's an important guy. That's a guy who has power. You can't do that. That's not allowed. Go school children. The f do you mean? The f do you mean you killed a goddamn United Healthcare CEO? Excuse me. Those are your lords and your masters. What do you mean? No, you're supposed to take your anger out on random Americans, dumbass. It's really interesting when a peasant rises up against the Lord, you know? What I realized is when I see situations like that, maybe it's because I cover so much death and so much destruction that like it doesn't really faze me that much. I mean, I'm always like, that's interesting. It's usually the approach that I have. I didn't realize I wasn't alone. I thought I was alone. I thought there was something wrong with my brain, you know? People took it way further than me. You go on TikTok. I went on TikTok. I saw the news coverage and I would look at the comments and literally everyone in the comments was like, oh my God, can you more CEOs, please? I was like, what the what do you mean? Hello? On Facebook, on your grandpappy's Kalans meet, motherfuckers are out there celebrating, okay? What is going on? On Facebook, the United Healthcare Facebook account, which is such a funny thing, like, what the do you have a Facebook account, United Healthcare? Anyway, they did that. They posted about the death of their CEO, and the post got 21,000 smiley face responses, like laughing, crying. Can you imagine, motherfuckers named Deborah and Barbara clicking on the post with like the 18 font and their tongue sticking out like they're and picking the crying my face off laughing emoji to respond to it 21,000 times? Now is at 44, 50,000. The Deborahs and the Barbaras are the ones who are not supposed to be saying that. Look, this is crazy. Look, United Health Group. We are deeply saddened and shocked at the passing of our dear friend and colleague, Brian Thompson, the CEO of United Healthcare. Brian was a highly respected colleague and friend to all who work with him. We are working closely with the New York Police Department and ask for your patience and understanding during this difficult time. Our hearts go out to Brian's family and all who were close to him. 41,000 ha-has. Only 2.2 thousand kind of sad crying faces. 42,000 ha-has? No, people are now saying it's 51K now. And it's like yet another instance where I think mainstream media and like all of the reputable outlets, reputable institutions, and everyone that's like covering this is diametrically opposed to the way that the overwhelming majority of the population is approaching the subject matter. Like the media is like thoughts and prayers. This person had a family, which is really interesting to say, and I'll get to that in a moment. I'll say it now. This person had a family. Yeah, you know who else has a family? The cancer patient who got their coverage denied. You know what I mean? Like, this person had a family. That's crazy. I know. Okay. So does Bashar al-Assad. So does Vladimir Putin. Okay. This person had a family. So did Ted Bundy, you know? But most people were like this. Most people had this take. I'm sorry. Prior authorization is required for thoughts and prayers. 15,000 likes. Sending prior authorization, denied claims, collections, and prayers to his family. 16,000 likes. Was his trip to the ER really emergent? According to his own company, my husband's heart attack wasn't an emergency, and we were out $3K, full deductible, 5,000 likes. Is crazy what my